Hello, good morning to all of you. Myself Rahul Ghadge, and today we have to learn the memory management policies used in Unix environment. Already we know that different types of memory management policies we are using in memory management for effective utilization of memory. So the main objectives of today's lecture is that understand the memory management in Unix environment, understand the different memory management policies, and evaluate the difference between swapping and demand paging. So first we start with the swapping. Already we know that the swapping plays a very important role in memory management. To execute the process, every process required a memory, and the primary memory, it is the most important memory which will be allocated to the process to complete their execution. But the primary memory or main memory is the limited memory, so we cannot allocate every process to complete their execution with primary memory. So it is necessary to perform the most important memory management policy, that is called as swapping. During the swapping process, the most important thing we are using, that is a swap device. Swap device, it is a one type of device which is present in the disk. The kernel allocate the continuous space on the swap device without any fragmentation. In the swapping process, we are maintaining one separate table or in-core copy of table which is called as a map, in which we are maintaining this free space on the swap devices. When we refer similar type of map device, it consists of two important things. The first one is the address, and the second one is the number of resources. So how many resources are present and what is their actual location, it will be identified using map. A dedicated algorithm we are using to allocate the map space, which is known as a mmap, malloc. The input we are passing, that is the map address, and the second input we are passing, that is the requested number of units. The output we are getting, that is the address if it is successful, and if it is failed, then we will get a 0. For every map entry, whenever the request is coming from the process, the request will be matched with the map entry. If it is matched, then we delete the entry from the map. Otherwise, we adjust the starting address of entry and then we return the original address of entry. Otherwise, if it fails, then it will return the 0. So similar type of algorithm we are using to allocate the map space. This is a diagrammatical representation which actually showing how the allocation of space will be going on. We already discussed that in the map the two important fields are present. First one is the address, and the unit specify the number of resources. In the diagram 1, we easily visualize that the address is 1 and the unit is 10,000. But after that we are allocating the 100 units or 100 resources, then the updation can be done in the map, and the address will be showing that is the 101 and the units are 9900. So similarly, next in the diagram C, we again allocate the 50 units, then again in the last unit we are allocating 100 units for the resources, and after the allocation of every resource, the address will be get updated here. Similarly, we can free the swap space, and the three important criteria will be used whenever we free the swap space. After the free the particular swap space, it will fully fill the hole in the swap device or in the swap in the swap device. Otherwise, it will partially fill that particular hole in the map or in the swap device. And the third one is that it will partially fill the hole but it not continuous. So we can easily visualize here. The first one case is that the free the resource, it will fill the hole, in which we are free the 50 unit at the address of 101, but it is not continuous. So that is the first case. Second case is that we free the resources which fill the hole, and if it is immediately followed by the entries in the map. And the third case we are checking, in which first we free the 15 units at 101, then we free the 100 unit at 1, then again we allocate the 200 units, and then again the 300 unit we will free at 151. So at the last we will get the final map which consists the 10,000 units or the resources and their address is 1. So in this case, after the free the particular space, it will totally fill the hole and gap between the entities in the map. Now whenever we are doing the swapping, the two types of operations we perform. First one, swap out and swap in. So already we know that the process consists the three parts: text, data and the stack. And whenever the space is not available in the main memory, we need to swap out into the swap device, and at that time whatever the swapping is going on, it will be maintained into the page table. Okay, so diagrammatically we can easily check that we are mapping the process onto the swap device, and then whenever we are performing the swap out operation, some conditions or criteria we are checking. For example, if the process called the fork system call and it will create a child, but there is a no space for the child, at that time we swap out the process. Second condition, we verify that when the process size is get increased. For example, we call the break system call, and after the break system call, the overall size of the process will be get increased. Then we have to swap out the process. Third condition, we check that when the dynamic growth of the stack, at that time also we need to swap out the particular process. So different conditions are present, and in that conditions we need to swap out the process from main memory to swap device. Now we have to check the swap in process or the swap in operation. Now the space is available into the main memory, so we swap out the process from swap device to main memory, and again whatever the updations will be done or the mapping will be done, it will be updated into the page table and process table. Now the second important memory management policies we have to check here, that is the demand paging. So what is the demand paging? Before the demand paging, first we need to know that every process required memory. Already we discussed that. If the memory is available in the form of page, if the page is available in the working set, then it will be allocated. But if it is not available, then the page fault will be occur. So demand paging means what? Demand paging means that in which we are requesting for the particular page or the memory to complete the process execution. Okay, but we already know that all the pages, it will be not available in the memory, they may be available in the secondary memory. So if it is not available in the working set, then the page fault will be occur. Different types of page fault will be occur. For example, the protection page fault will be occur, the validity page fault will be occur, and to handle that page fault, the different specific handler we have to use it. For example, if it is a validity page fault, then validity page fault handler we have to use it to handle similar type of page fault. A specific dedicated data structures we are using for demand paging, which consists the page table entry, disk block descriptor, page frame data table, and swap use table. We can diagrammatically check here. In this diagrammatical representation, we can easily check it consists the region. Already we know that the region, it is a continuous part of a space. Then it consists the dedicated page table entry. Page table entry contain the physical address of a page and different bits like validity bit, which used to check the validity of the page, a reference bit which used to check how many times the page has referred, modify bit to check whether the page is modified or not, and age and protection bit to check the age and the permission of the particular page. Similarly, we are using a disk block descriptor. In the disk block descriptor, we are using swap device, which used to identify the swap device by their number, then the block number and the type. So similar type of structure we have to use it to handle the demand paging. At the last, we have to check what is the difference between swapping and demand paging. So whenever we refer the swapping is very easy to implement and less system overhead. But when we check the demand paging, it provides more flexibility to implement it. So the two important policies, that is the first one is the swapping and how the swap in and swap out operations will be performed. And then we check the demand paging, and in the demand paging we are check that what is the meaning of demand paging, which are the different data structures we are using for demand paging, and finally we check that what is the difference between demand paging and swapping. Okay, so at the last we conclude that the two important memory management policies we are using in the Unix environment to properly handle the memory management and effectively use the memory for increase the performance of the system. Thank you.